Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Jablin. Last name is spelled Jablin, and I am the founder and the creator of the Hero Project. So I help people ignite their hero within, relieving them of alcoholism, addictions, unhealthy dependencies, and truly go into their hero's journey. And I personally am 17 years clean and sober. This is not what I always did. This was not my dream and what I thought of. I used to run an empire, believe it or not. We were the number one lace manufacturing company in the world. But my sobriety and my recovery took over. It truly took over, and something was contagious about it. So before I knew it, I was helping people here, helping people there, and then I started working with A-list celebrities, and then the NFL, and then Major League Baseball, and then the NBA, and this thing called the Hero Project kind of grew from my heart, my passion of helping people.
But some of the organizations that you spoke to, because you have quite an illustrious career being a public speaker as well. Can you talk? You had mentioned professional football and professional sports and stuff like that. You speak
Yeah,
to.
so from professional sports to the United States Army, Navy, military, also the Marines, spoken with Robbins Research, Tony Robbins Group, the Hanley Foundation, Futures, Eric Clapton's Crossroads, Broadway, the actual entire industry of Broadway. So my passion for helping people and my passion for truly putting people on their hero's journey, it just kind of crossed boundaries. But again, this is something, I couldn't plan it if I tried. I couldn't plan it if I tried. This is, I'd like to say it's the quality of the results that my clients get. It's not me. I'm the vessel, I'm the conduit. But again, they have to do the work. They have to do the work. So let's give them more of an applause than me.
That's wonderful advice, and we can't thank you enough for spending time with us today. One of the kids emailed me and they wanted to know, can you share any daily practices or routines that help you stay connected to your enthusiasm and purpose, especially when times are tough?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's try to break it down like a fraction, right? Don't do what I do because again, this has evolved over time. I will always start with some form of prayer and meditation. I believe in God. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. It could be a higher power or the universe or something that's greater than yourself. But at least look, when I do that, now not all of the responsibility and not all of the pressure is on me. I do meditate because it is a way for me to quiet my mind. I can see what's really going on in there, if you know what I mean. And it's also a practice that I make myself sit. I'm in control of this and it's not in control of me. And trust me, with devices like this, it can be hard. I exercise every single day. For the last year, 400 days in a row, I've ran a minimum of a 5K every day, but it's not what it is, right? What I would want to talk about is it's the physiology. You want to get your body moving. You want to get your body feeling good. Every single person, especially at this age. I don't care if it's push-ups, sit-ups, resistance training, going for a walk, going for a run, jumping rope. It doesn't matter. Put on some good music and get your body into a state that you're going to feel empowered. The second thing I do is I really try to control my focus, guys. I try to control what I'm focusing on because what's good is always available and what's bad is always available. So thinking about like the angel and the devil. I have a real life. I have children. I have bills. I have responsibilities. Every single person I've worked with, by the way, does. Just because there's more money, by the way, it equals more problems. Okay. So I try to control where my focus goes. I can focus on this is happening well. I'm getting these things done. I'm getting these things accomplished. My kids are healthy. Or I could focus on, oh my God, this is happening. This is pending. I have this test coming up. So I try to control my focus because what your focus on is going to be the meaning of your life. That's going to be the meaning of your life. There's so many things going on in life right now that we can't explain. So you're experiencing the life that you really focus on. As a matter of fact, like when I was a kid, what we're doing right now seemed like Star Wars Buck Rogers nonsense. Like the fact that I'm on a Zoom call with you guys, like the fact that we could FaceTime each other. There are planes using solar radar as we speak. There are whales underneath the ocean they're speaking with one another. There are dog whistles that we can't hear that a dog hears. So don't think that because you're focusing on it, that's the only thing that's happening in your life, right? And where you put your focus is what you're going to feel. The third thing I do, guys, is I really am intentional with the language I use, right? The language we use specifically to ourselves gives us meaning. It gives our life meaning, right? So if I'm going to be using more negative words, if my tone's going to be a little low, if I'm not going to really be in a good place, and oh gee, thanks, one day at a time, hey, I'm trying, hey, sometimes things go your way. These are even with positive things. You're diminishing yourself. You're diminishing yourself. So I take care of the physical body, right? I really control my focus. I've been given dominion over this, and I really try to control the language I use. And when you do those things together, you start putting together the heart, mind, and soul. You know what I mean? And life just turns out to be sweet.
That's amazing that you're almost talking about like a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're just kind of speaking positively and staying positive regardless of how negative things may be around you to try and get positive things to happen in your surroundings, right?
Well, there's an aspect of that. I really don't believe, though, just in positive thinking. Because look, things are going to happen that we don't want, right? And that could take positive thinking and just kick the living you know what out of it. So there's a part of that, but there's also a part of what can I control? What am I allowed to focus on? Because look, like I said to everybody in the beginning of the call, I'm 17 years clean and sober, which means I abused alcohol and drugs like no other. Okay. Like the enthusiasm you may see out of me, you should have seen me drinking and drugging. Okay. Like I was an animal. And when I was putting those substances in my brain and in my body, you can imagine what my thoughts were. They weren't happy. They weren't joyous. They weren't free. They were very much like a victim. There was a woe is me. Well, I have all this responsibility, everything. And I had to shut that voice off. I had to quiet it down just to feel some relief. I didn't drink and drug to get a little high. I drank for relief. Some use it for, let's say, a social mechanism. Some use it for a medicinal reason. I was drinking and drugging for relief. What I have found on this side of my recovery and sobriety is so much sweeter. It's so much sweeter.
That's amazing. And thank you for sharing with us regarding that. We have a question from Delhi, and Delhi is in Europe. She messaged, how do you feel now founding a company that specializes in helping people?
Thank you, Delhi. That's a great question. I feel a sense of pride. I feel like a life of fulfillment. There's a difference between success and fulfillment, right? Success is the money in the bank. Success is the trophy. Success is the win on the field. And don't get me wrong, I have success, but I've also been successful without being fulfilled. Remember when I was telling you I ran that empire, that lace company? I had all the success in the world and I was drinking and drugging like no other. But this is a feeling, it's intrinsic. It's intrinsic. It's a feel like there's no amount of money that can give me the feeling that I feel. So it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of honor. It feels like a privilege. It feels like a responsibility. And every day I wake up with a purpose. And that would be one thing that I wish for everybody on this call, to find your purpose. We all have heroes. We all have people that we want to emulate, but make sure you know what your purpose is.
That reminds me of a Mark Twain quote: "The two most important days of your life: the day you're born and the day you find out why." Right.
Yes,
So we have a
that's a
question
great
from
quote.
Paula. So she wanted to know, with so many distractions in today's world, how are you able to stay focused through it all, and what makes you happy?
Paula, thank you for those questions. So with so many distractions in today's world, how do I stay focused and what makes me happy? Okay. So I want everybody to know I'm as human as the next person and as guilty as the next person. And by the way, a part of my business, not my entire business, is marketing and branding, which means I sometimes have to be on this thing, posting on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, right? And this thing always wants to talk to me. And sometimes it's a text, and sometimes it's a friend, and sometimes it's my brain that doesn't want to concentrate. So this is what I do. And I hope it helps one person in here. There are times where I literally have to cut things down to 20 to 30-minute segments. And I go, okay, I'm going to put a timer on. And for that 20 or 30 minutes, I'm going to focus. I am going to focus. And then I'll allow myself 10, 15 minutes of distraction. And then I'll repeat it. And by the way, guys, sometimes it's flipped. Sometimes it's, if I only have 15 minutes to really focus, and then 30 minutes because I just can't control this thing. But what I have found is you get so much done when you're intentional. When you're intentional. Plus, I know my why. So when I'm with clients or groups like you guys, it's really easy not to be distracted because I'm living my purpose right now. You know what I mean? I'm in the moment. I am truly in the moment. And now to answer the second question, and I wish somebody had taught me this at your guys' age. Bear with me when I explain this. Happiness is fleeting. Okay? There are going to be many times throughout today that you'll be happy, and that emotion is going to go right out the window with a text, with somebody on Instagram, with your parents, with something that happens on the field, with something, whatever. So I was always looking to be happy, 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 happy. You know what eventually made me happy? A drink made me happy. A drug made me happy. The new car made me happy. Then the new kid made me happy. And you know what happens? The car in 2 weeks just becomes your car. And the baby now becomes a serious responsibility. And it's not just the pictures in Disney World, it's baby monitors and bottles and toys everywhere and nipples on the floor. And right, like, so you're happy for a moment, it's fleeting. But what I truly want, what I would want you to find is peace. Peace within the storm. Peace means no matter how good or how sweet it is, like if many of you have started getting romantic or start liking one another, no matter how sweet it is, you feel good within yourself. But the day that the boyfriend or the girlfriend or the partner breaks up with you, or the day you get a bad grade, or the day your parents are on you, right? You also don't feel like throwing the table and the hell with it. You're at peace within the storm. It doesn't matter what's thrown at you, you can handle it. I will take peace over happiness any day of the week. I'll give you happiness too, by the way. Go to your favorite musician, go to a rock concert, go to your favorite band. 3 songs, you'll be happy. 1, you'll be like, I never heard this song. Like it's so fleeting. It's so fleeting. So truly look for peace.
That's almost like you're just discussing intrinsic versus extrinsic, right?
Exactly.
So you're finding the happiness, like what good can you do with the world around you, and that in turn makes you feel fulfilled, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very
And the
good.
things that the things that I used to think would make me happy or the happiest, I have found not to be the healthiest.
And that could be like you were talking about drinking drugs and like purchasing stuff that's extrinsic, where you're like purchasing thing,
That's a great one, right? That's one everyone can identify with. You know what I mean? Something on the app, something on Amazon, something on this, right? And even the high you get, or whatever you want to call that, the little once you order it, it's gone after you order it. Now you know it's coming. Now it's like not here fast enough.
It's
It's like
the remorse.
the remorse,
Yeah.
so I think if there was one thing I would want to be able to share with you guys is that, like, there's not much different between being a kid and an adult. The emotions are wired the same way. You get more comfortable with them, you get more used to them, you get comfortable in your own skin. But I feel exactly what you feel. Maybe the situations are a little different. Well, of course they are. But the feelings, if you take the label of what's going on in your life and the labels of what's going on in my life, the feelings are the same.
We'll go with a couple more student questions and then let you go because I noticed we even have kids as far as Korea on this. So I don't even know what time it is over there. So one of the kids wanted to know who were your biggest influences or aspirations when you started to become an author and a motivational speaker? When you made that transition, who are the people that you kind of looked up to?
Yeah. So, guys, I got really blessed where the people in my life are my heroes, but I also know them. So, I'll give you an example. This book is going to come out this year. This is me and my mentor. His name is Dion. He's a rock and roll Hall of Fame legend. Bruce Springsteen wrote for the book. Bob Dylan wrote for the book. Eric Clapton wrote for the book. Quincy Jones wrote for the book. Paul Simon wrote for the book. Bishop Barron wrote for the book. And he's the man I want to make most proud. He's like he is a second father to me, you know. So this is our book. I'm really excited about it. He has a Broadway play about his life coming around the same time. We've been booked on Joe Rogan. We booked on Dr. Jordan Peterson when it's released, and he was an inspiration for sure. He is my inspiration.
That's
And the second one was before I knew him was Tony Robbins. And he's such a, at this point, I almost feel like rolling my eyes because it's a name that just everybody, what I didn't know was going to be the personal relationship I have with him and the man he truly is, what he was able to teach me, and how much more I had to learn. What Tony resembles to me is somebody that truly lives that he lives exactly what he's doing. And when I started coaching, I felt like I knew people needed what I had found, especially from Dion. They were craving it. They were craving this connection, this feeling, this confidence, this intrinsic. But I didn't know how many more modalities there were to help people. And it's so good to be humble and to learn. And I truly feel like, my second mentor in this industry is like having Michael Jordan teach you basketball. I mean, I really don't know a name that's so synonymous with helping people. So those would be my two people.
That is amazing. And you guys definitely check out adamjablin.com. And I know a lot of you know a bit about him and a bit about Tony Robbins, but if you're ever on Spotify, check out Dion's music, wonderful music. So we'll go with two more student questions. One of the kids wanted to know, what is the most important piece of advice you would give to the students, to us students who aspire to be leaders and motivators in their own communities, who want to like make a difference with that intrinsic that we were discussing?
It's a great question. So first off, I would say, let me try to find the right words. Embody that person, meaning it starts in the household. Can't be good to your brother. You can't be good to your sister. You can't be good to your parents. You can't be good to your best friends. Then you're just putting on a mask. Then you're trying to be something that you're not. So it starts within, right? And secondly, if you really want to lead, right, which it sounds like this person is, go out there, go out there, go out, whatever your local community is doing, if it's the football game, if it's a baseball game, if it's a group, if it's getting a bunch of people together and say, well, let's run a 5K together. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? We'll put it on the gram and everything, but and come up with ideas like that. Hey, let's all get together and we'll make a little clip, we'll make a little reel for Instagram, you know what I mean? But you lead by bringing people together, having a common goal, right? And really trying to attain it. And when you're doing that, you're getting outside of yourself. You're getting outside of yourself. You're making it bigger than you.
Would I ask the last question for all of our guests, and I wanted to ask this of you. I know you kind of touched on this already, but what advice would you have for these kids as they go out there and kind of figure out what kind of lives they want to lead, what kind of careers they want to pursue? What kind of advice do you have for them as someone who's lived it?
Yeah. So I almost feel like, guys, it's a dance. Okay. It's a dance. It's a game. Have a vision, have something that you want to do. And if you're so confused on that, then totally surrender. Then be like, okay, I'm just going to live and I'll gotta figure out what excites me. What excites me a little bit. You know what I mean? And on that path, as you keep that vision, let go of the way it has to look, because it's never going to match your reality exactly. It's never going to match. But if you can let go and be a little patient, in time, it will be sweeter than what you thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? So, if you can be specific, if you can really tune into a goal, that's great. I would like you to know I am not that guy. I am not that guy. The hero project started on a piece of paper, not really knowing how it was going to unfold. I just knew I had a calling to help people. And by the way, it could be that broad in general. It could be, listen, I don't even know where my heart's really taking me. I just want to help people. I don't know where, but I really like music. I don't know, you know what I mean? Sometimes there's this story, I'm going to butcher it, but there was a girl with, the teachers wanted to call it ADHD, you know what I mean? And she was really causing havoc in the class, and she couldn't sit still. But when she moved, it almost looked like she was constantly dancing, you know? Finally, the teacher couldn't take it anymore, and she went to the principal's office and listened to what the principal did. So in the principal's office, she's there, her mother's brought in, and she's still kind of like doing this thing. And the principal called the mom out, and she said, listen, there's nothing wrong with your daughter. She's a dancer. This is not for her. She's not, there's nothing wrong with her. She needs movement. That girl went to be one of the head ballet people on Broadway that there ever was. So sometimes these moments, they're accidents. They're absolute accidents. If you're that person that cannot stay off the gram or off, maybe you're a content creator. You know what I mean? Like, something is calling you. It's our job to listen to the call and not judge yourself. And for the love of God, please do not compare yourself to anybody else, your peers, your brothers, your sisters, or anybody on social media. Do not compare. You are one of one.
What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy.
I believe it is.
Absolutely.
I believe it is.
So before we let you go, before I end the meeting for all, and guys, I'll send out the recording of this the next day or two when it processes. But I allow everyone to unmute before I end the meeting for all. And can we all collectively say thank you to Adam Jablin for taking time out of his day to talk to us? Thank you so much, Adam. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.